In collaboration with BrainMind, let's discuss cognitive engagement, educational attainment, and brain training as interventions to mitigate or reduce Alzheimer's risk. When it comes to staying engaged, each different type of cognitive activity can have a different effect on a person's Alzheimer's risk. For example, one of the most important early life risk factors, meaning in someone's elementary years, junior high school, and college, early life educational attainment is a key modifiable risk factor for Alzheimer's disease later. When we think about our early years of education, we don't think about the impact of education on a neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's disease. However, there are volumes of research that support staying active and engaged in school, and additional years of education can be protective across the lifespan. It's even led some investigators, including our group, to study how can we educate the younger populations who are at risk for Alzheimer's disease about how to allow them to have the most optimal brain health over time. And we've created coursework about brain health for high school and college students. When it comes to educational activities, staying engaged throughout the lifespan has also been shown to improve cognitive outcomes. Cognitive activities can include learning something new, like a new language or a musical instrument. Music is one of the most powerful ways that we can engage the brain and create backup pathways. There's even studies that show that midlife musical experience, learning how to play a musical instrument midlife or onward, has been found to be protective and to reduce Alzheimer's risk later. That's striking. Long-term musical experience for sure has been shown to reduce a person's risk of cognitive decline. But the fact that people can take the bull by the horns and build backup pathways to protect the brain is something we just didn't understand decades ago. When it comes to brain training, there's been an explosion of evidence to suggest that we can actively engage the brain in specific activities, for example, using a computer, to optimize different aspects of cognitive function. One of the most robust studies was done in terms of a 6-week cognitive training program. Not only did it show that after the 6 weeks of cognitive training, we could actually improve processing speed, meaning we can make processing speed faster just through a 6-week regimented brain training activity online. They looked at the people that were randomized to that brain training activity 10 years later. And in just 6 weeks of cognitive training, those people had less car accidents, as one of the many examples. So what we're learning about is that the brain, as it ages, can actually be supported through cognitive activities. What are the best cognitive activities for the brain? Well, while the jury is still out somewhat, we do know that, for example, when someone speaks multiple languages, that is more protective on brain health and cognitive decline. In fact, when someone develops a dementia, or if someone has a stroke in the brain, they may lose one or more of the most recently acquired languages, but they may still retain the language that they've used since birth or since of their native tongue. So when we understand that we can build up language pathways, music pathways, and other general educational pathways, we can support brain health across the lifespan. The other aspect about brain training is that there are different strategies and different studies that have looked at a variety of different techniques. While I prescribe certain types of brain training activities in my clinical practice, where I will give a person a homework assignment, I would like you to go online, join this website, use this tool, and twice a week spend 30 minutes, basically like a prescription, to do cognitive training exercises online. Most of the time, when we do a cognitive assessment, we can understand a person's strengths and weaknesses in terms of their cognitive complaints. And also, even when people don't have any cognitive complaints, we can do cognitive testing that can understand maybe someone is going to have a cognitive complaint in the coming years or coming decade as an early warning sign. And I can then give that person a prescription, so to speak, to train their brain in that specific cognitive area where suboptimal performance has not yet led to a noticeable cognitive symptom or noticeable cognitive decline. So I can give a certain person a cognitive training prescription. Some very exciting research just within the last few years has actually looked at the combination of cognitive training at the same time as physical exercise. In some very unique and exciting studies, people have shown that when you randomize people in two different groups, one group just doing the cognitive training exercises on their tablet or computer versus other people doing cognitive training on a tablet, for example, but while riding a stationary bike, the people that partake in exercise during the cognitive training have better results and better cognitive outcomes and more optimized cognitive performance when you use the two together. This underscores an important principle in medicine called the biological principle of synergy. And this principle overlaps in many aspects of risk reduction for Alzheimer's disease, where 1 + 1 = 3 in terms of the beneficial effects. Exercise alone has one effect. Cognitive training has another effect. But when you do them at the same time, as just one of the many examples, you have a synergistic effect, and you have a greater effect than just adding the 1 and 1 together. So when it comes to cognitive engagement and brain training, there's some exciting things on the horizon. Staying engaged in life, staying socially active, adult education classes, learning a new language, learning a musical instrument, playing music with people that also play musical instruments at your same level. Also, listening to music, more stimulating music during the day, more calming music at night. Even listening to music in the background when you're going about your daily activities may have some sort of stimulating effect on the brain. While none of these things by itself would, of course, definitively prevent Alzheimer's disease, keeping the brain engaged throughout the lifespan can have our best beneficial effects on delaying cognitive decline, as well as optimizing cognitive function.